Okay.
Could you identify your name, please?
Yes, I'm Noreen Jankowski, and I'm the widow of Edward J. Jankowski. He was a corporal in the U.S. Army.
U.S. Army.
Right. And he served in Korea from probably May of 52 to May of 1954.
For 2 years.
Right. Actually, he wasn't in Korea the whole 2 years because he had to, go for training here in the United States.
Yeah.
And then he went to Korea.
Do you know where did he receive the training, basic training?
Yes, Aberdeen, Maryland.
Okay.
That's the book there from Aberdeen Proving Ground.
What is the Texas?
It's in Maryland.
Maryland.
Right.
Could you show that to camera?
Mm-hmm.
Just
yeah.
like that.
And he's in that, there's a picture of him, it's almost like a yearbook, like that.
Mm.
And then when he was in Korea, he was in the 79th Engineer Construction Battalion.
Could you hold it like this? Okay,
Yeah,
thank you. Okay.
So, when did you meet him for the first time?
Oh, I was only a teenager.
You met him at your teenage days? Oh.
16 years old.
16 years old.
Well, I was going to high school and stuff, but he didn't go to that school. So I met him through some other friends.
Where?
In Syracuse, New
In
York.
Syracuse? So both of you, Edward and yourself,
from Syracuse.
From
right.
Syracuse.
He was from the west side, and I was from the east side.
I see.
I lived right across the street from, where the University Hospital is now?
Yeah.
That's where I lived, across the street from there.
Ah.
And he lived sort of down near Sacred Heart Church. Do you know where Sacred Heart Church is?
No.
Okay, it's on West Genesee Street.
Okay.
There, and we went together. I moved to East Syracuse, and then my parents said naturally I couldn't get married before I was 19, and I had to work at least a year after I got out of school, and then he got drafted on his 21st birthday.
21st birthday?
March.
Oh, on birthday.
March?
His birthday's March 26, 1931. So he was on his 21st birthday, he got drafted, and then he went into the service, and I stayed home and, went to work, and, we didn't want to get married before he went in the service anyhow, because he didn't want to leave me a widow, possibly at that time, so.
So when did you marry?
Then we got married in August of 1954.
Right after he came back from the Korean War? So how was it when you saw him for the first time after the war?
It was like,
Could you describe that?
Well, he was different in a way. We didn't really talk too much about Korea that much. I found out more stuff when he would meet up with any of his friends that he was in the service with. He talked more then. And
so he talked about the friends?
No, he talked
soldiers.
with the friends, the soldiers about Korea.
Okay, yeah.
And I know every year they have what they call the watch fire up here by the state fairgrounds. Have you ever been there?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so one of the gentlemen that started that was from Vietnam. And he had talked, in fact, I think the very first time my husband lit the fire, the first fire up there. And he talked to him and everything, and my husband, this fellow told me that my husband said, "Have you ever been cold?" And the gentleman said, "Yes." He's I mean, real cold, So how cold it was there, and like this, I get letters from looking for donations for everything, and one of them was they want equipment for the soldiers now, which I'm all for that, but I look at some of the soldiers today and I wonder how they can even walk because they're loaded down with all this equipment. My husband didn't have anything. They didn't have uniforms or equipment and all that stuff. In fact, I sent him hand warmers and feet warmers in a package so that they were run by batteries, so he could put these hand warmers or the feet things to keep his feet and stuff warm. And I think he had problems with his legs afterwards, and it might have been from the frost or whatever, but he never stayed. Like when he got out of the service in San Francisco, they wanted him to stay and go to the hospital there and all that stuff, and he didn't want it. He wanted to come home. So then he never, got any kind of benefits from, so. Now some of that's got stuff written on the back,
Yes. By looking at these pictures, Ed must have been in the engineering and construction battalion, right?
Right.
Did he have any specialty in that?
Well, that's what they did. I have a full...
No, I mean before he joined the army.
He was an electrician.
Oh, he was an electrician.
Right.
Okay.
And he liked machines and he did all that stuff anyhow. So I think that's why he really wanted to go into, and that's what they did, repaired machines and stuff like that. And I have pictures here of, they worked in Korea out of an old, like tractor trailers, and their machine shop was in the tractor trailer.
Yeah.
And there's pictures of them repairing this kind of like a Caterpillar, or so I was just looking for all where that is.
So he was engineers and he was reconstructing those devastated buildings and bridges.
Not so much
and
building, more or less the tanks, all that, that kind of stuff. The stuff that did construction, all those big machines and all that stuff. Like I'm saying, they didn't have all updated equipment, so all the equipment they had, they were reusing, repairing them with whatever they had to repair them with, So that's why that. But,
could you talk about this? Has Ed ever talk about his experience in engineering works in Korea with the pictures like this?
Right, that's what.
Did he used to?
When we went, some of the stuff he would send me. A lot of things don't have anything written on the back, because he'd send me a letter and then he would tell me this, these pictures contain blah blah blah, about whatever they were doing and stuff like that. So those letters, between whatever we were doing in the house, they got lost or gone. So
how often did you get the letter from Ed from Korea?
It would take a couple of weeks, but I would get a bunch at one time, and the same thing he would, when I would send him letters, we wrote to each other, sort of caught us both up on things.
So the two pictures that I gave you, there seems to be sort of the pictures about the reconstruction of the Han River, right? Could you show that to the camera, please? Right,
but there's more. This is, wait, no,
just
say that.
Hold it for a moment still.
No, this is Freedom Gate Bridge. This is a different bridge.
Okay.
So this one here, this is the band that was playing, and there should be dedication with General Taylor.
Which one is the picture with General Taylor?
Here's General Taylor here, but there's also one, let's see. What is Now this is another bridge. This says the bridge our outfit is bidding out or doing something with a route. But
so maybe weekly were you able to get something from him from Korea through mail?
Oh,
once a week?
From him?
Yeah.
Yeah, I get
once
letters.
a week? That
no,
often?
Every couple of weeks, but
every
when I
couple
would get
weeks.
Them, maybe I get 4 or 5 letters at a time. That were written each day, and then they would mail them however they mailed them.
Together,
and then, right. And then I'd get them in a bulk, and he'd get mine in a bulk too and stuff.
Any sort of lines or the sentences that you still remember vividly, or?
Yeah, just I love you. Like that. I miss you. That kind of stuff.
Do you still keep that letters?
No, that's what I said. That was
it's all gone?
Oh,
I'm so sorry.
Right. We had them up in the attic, but he did some renovating up in the attic and he took this wall out, so he had to put reinforcements, so I don't know what happened to those pictures, Now see, here's part of the dedication there. And those are more or less almost looking alike, so that's why I wasn't sure which ones.
Could you read this?
It says General Taylor talking to the let's see, talking to the press. Maybe they had the press there.
Okay.
Of the Korean, National, or wait, maybe it's the president of the Korean National Assembly.
Oh.
Or wait a minute, let's see. General Taylor talking to the, it looked like PRES of the Korean National Assembly.
Oh, there must be.
Was there a president of the National?
Yes.
Yeah.
And we need to find it out. Who was?
Yeah. And then this is just before they crossed at the bridge. See, this is where they were going, I guess. I don't know whether they had the dedication before they crossed. General Taylor, just after he got out of his car, that's Colonel Lynn over, let's see, our group commander.
And this
Saluting.
is... Oh,
Okay,
okay.
that's their commander saluting General Taylor.
So, saluting General Taylor. But you don't know what it's about, right?
Yeah, the river. The
River? Han River?
The dedicating the bridge. See, that's the
bridge,
same bridge.
what bridge? The
The
Han
Han.
River?
Right.
Oh, okay. So it's a rededication of Han Bridge.
Right, that's all
Reconstructed.
here.
And we will put this all pictures into the database of Digital Memorial.
See, this is also General Taylor coming back after he crossed the bridge. That's Sergeant Phelps, our sergeant, driving. So those are little things, those might not be that interesting, but it's all to do with the dedication of the bridge going over the Han River.
Wow. That's the biggest bridge in Han River, 한강 제2 대교인 것 같아요. 그죠?
Right. There's something else. There was another one that was, it's under what it's CHO Chan or something. I'm not sure. But let's see what else.
So, could you please tell us again when he was born and when
he was born on March 26, 1931.
31.
In Syracuse, New York.
New York.
And then he was drafted on his 21st birthday. And before that, he worked at Carrier Air Conditioning Company.
Oh.
There.
Was there Carrier at the time?
Yeah.
Ah.
1951. Before that, there was one, and it was over on Geddes Street. Like almost like a warehouse type of thing. And then he went to work. I don't know whether he went in the service before that, but when he come back, then he worked on Thompson Road. And then he was an electrician.
He continued to work in the Carrier?
Yes, when he come back and worked at Carrier. And he was an electrician there. He also became the treasurer of, they had unions trying to get into Carrier. Okay. So then he became a treasurer of a local 527 sheet metal workers. Like that.
When did he pass away?
April 2nd, 2009.
2009? How old was he? 1931?
78.
78?
Right.
Has he ever mentioned anything about Korean War? Anything?
He wasn't one of these that complained about serving his country or being there. You know, the only thing he said that they never actually called it a victory. And he talked about, he used to like to watch the series on television called MASH.
Yeah.
Because it reminded him of his outfit. You know, and then he said one time they sent somebody from the United States, like an officer that was like, what do you want to call it? You know, to the books and stuff. He wanted them to come, all the soldiers to come every morning, all dressed up. You know, they didn't have nothing to dress up in. You know, and they thought it was, you know, like a joke. I mean, what does he want us to do? You know, they wanted them to have red scarves on them, and you know, look like dressed up soldiers. And he said that they just didn't have the stuff to do that. You know. And if you look at how they're dressed most of the time, once they're over there, they're like in fatigues or, you know, just like that. So
when he left for Korea to serve in the Korean War. What was the kind of public opinion about the Korean War? What was your own thinking about Ed going to Korean War?
Just worried about, of course, you know, what was going to happen. And the things that he was telling me all the time, that all they kept hearing is, like, Yankee, go home. We don't want you here. Like, that kind of stuff.
From Korean people?
Right. And then, like I said, there's pictures of parades here that they wanted unification or death. So they wanted either, I guess, they wanted South Korea and North Korea, I guess, to be unified. Otherwise, they'd fight to the end, I guess, or something. So Eisenhower at that time was the general over there before he became president here. And like I said, that part I don't, because I was young myself, that I don't remember.
Must be MacArthur.
Right, MacArthur,
yeah,
right.
MacArthur, yes.
Right, and that, you know, that the war wasn't really what they called over, you know. So, and then I know when they had the 50-year, they had a 50-year reunion down city here at one of the theaters, and the Korean veterans were there and everything, and I think Hillary Clinton was there and all that.
And I was there too.
Right, and you were there too. So I know I was across the street at one time waiting, and there was a shoe store there. And a young Korean, you know, he was American, but he was talking about how grateful they were for the Americans that they came to help them. And I says, yeah, well, I said, when my husband was there, everybody was telling them to go home. They didn't want them there, you know. So, which I felt bad about, you know. But that's it. He said that's all they would hear about was, you know, Yankee go home, and then I was showing, like, there's pictures, like, of the little Korean children. I had pictures of them, and this probably isn't all that important, like where they were riding in one of these little carts. See, and I think this is Scotia, one of the other. Yeah, that's Scotia and him.
Yeah, you keep talking about him, the Scotia. That doesn't sound like a Korean name, but must be your husband's kind of...
they might have all named them this. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Now, there's one little boy they got a picture with, and they called him, it said cross-eyed, which, you know...
Cross-eyed.
Right, a little boy. So the little boy's eyes were crossed, I don't know. And then... see,
did he ever mention about Scotia? What is it? Yeah.
That's how he spelled it.
Did he talk about him, the Korean boy?
All the time.
Wow.
And
what did he say about him?
Well, he was their houseboy.
Houseboy.
Yeah, and see, they made this. They had somebody make the uniform for him.
Wow.
Because they didn't have clothes and everything like that. And he worked for them, and they gave him money, and he took it home to his family. But he stayed more or less with them, you know, stayed with them. And I guess each unit might have had a little boy, because there are some, you know, where they took them under their wing and took care of them and stuff. And I know at one time, I don't know whether he's seen movies, but he was into, like, the cowboys and Indians. So I sent him guns, you know, like the cowboy guns and stuff like that. And then there was a picture of him, which you can't see him, but he's up in the window, and they said, Scotia's shooting at us with the guns, you know, that you sent him. So, like that.
I found this letter.
Yeah,
I think it's from you.
Yeah, it's to...
It's from you, Eddie. Dear Eddie.
No.
This is from the Scotia?
Yeah, to Eddie.
And it's dated 1954, and it's June 4th.
Yeah.
Could you be able to read?
Well, I tried.
Where did this Scotia write this letter from?
I don't know whether he was already, let's see, whether he was with another unit. Let me see if I can.
Yeah, could you read that?
It says here, Dear Eddie, how are you? I am fine, and I hope you, well, you know, you're fine too. And did you see? There was a soldier named something Parent. I can't remember what his first name was, but his last name was Parent. Parent. He got a letter from him, I guess, 5 days ago, but I didn't hear, I guess, from you. I hope you write me, and I think you get out this place at the, he said, I think you get out this place right soon, right time. When he spells it, you know, different, right time. Because now they're going to, let's see, I don't know, it looks like an R-A, big R, little a, and then a big A. They have PT every morning, and they changed first sergeant and company command. They are bad ones, and they have big, I don't know if it's action or big, looks like INECTI, I don't know, there can't be an action too in Saturday morning. Okay, they have something that going on Saturday morning. And today is Friday. Tomorrow we will have a big inspection, that's what it is. They have big inspection too on Saturday mornings, and today is Friday. Tomorrow we will have a big inspection. Last Saturday morning, something about Colonel says my room was best room in building. I hope we pass tomorrow. And let's see. And UB wasn't home. I hope you hear about, and I'm going to send 3 pictures, 2 parent pictures, and 1 is myself, and I will send you more combat pictures pretty soon, and I'm going to class now. So apparently they were sending them. So it had to be coming from Korea, though.
Yeah, isn't that awesome that his Ed's old houseboy writing in English and let Eddie know whereabouts of his life, right?
Right.
Yeah,
right.
that's amazing.
And I will write you again, and I hope you write too. And it says your something pal, Scotia. Please print when you write me. So he wanted him to print when he wrote him. Okay.
When did you hear about this Korean War Veteran Digital Memorial Project for the first time? How did you hear about it? Did you hear from me?
No. Oh, but this one here?
Yeah, I mean
yes.
the project that I'm doing.
Yes.
Collecting all these pictures
Yes.
and doing interview with you or
Right.
you know
Right.
the survivors.
Right, because I was,
Korean War veterans.
I'm the president of the auxiliary.
Oh, auxiliary means the wife's spouses meeting, right?
Right.
Okay.
Right. And my husband was a member, and then afterwards he was sick and wasn't going to the meetings and stuff, and I didn't really go that much at that time because he had a lot of issues in home taking care of him and stuff. And then when he passed away, I decided to, you know, get involved again. And then when I got involved, they elected me the president.
So how long have you served as president of
This
Spouses
is my second
meeting?
year.
Second year? Okay.
I think you can only serve
For 2 years?
2 years
Okay.
anyhow. Right. So
Has Ed been ever back to Korea?
no, we wanted to go. I think there's a picture of a couple of his friends, and I think they went back. These are guys that he was in the service with now, and there's probably pictures of them when they were
Show that
younger,
to the
but I'm
camera,
not
please.
sure which ones. And they were
These are
going,
the friends of Ed's who've been back to Korea, right?
yes,
Yes.
I think they went back, or at least we got notifications, he talked to somebody that they were going to go to Korea, so he thought he'd like to go too, but he wasn't well
They're
enough
too
to
late.
make the trip. Which, see, right now, see, this is a house that was made out of scraps. That's, see, a Korean house made from scraps.
Yeah.
They look like, and stuff like that.
So looking at this picture, 60 years ago, now we have a full of high rises, and
Right, okay.
you cannot really identify the current Seoul city with this picture.
Right. I wish we could have been able to go back.
Yeah,
you know?
I wish. And
Okay.
Seoul, the capital city, is one of the 10 biggest metropolitan city in the world. It's bigger than Manhattan.
There's something about Seoul here too.
Yes.
There's pictures there somewhere.
Yeah. So we'll love to digitize these pictures, and so that the future generations know what happened during the Korean War and how American soldiers contribute to the reconstruction of the Korea.
Right, right.
I want to ask you some sensitive question, but you heard that the Korean War was forgotten war.
They call it the forgotten war.
Yeah,
right.
and they didn't even call it as a war, but conflict.
Right.
Would you please make comments about those, and what do you think about those?
Well, I think it was a war. I mean, we went there to help defend the South Korea against the North Koreans, and we lost lives and things like that. Lots of our, soldiers and stuff, and Marines and Navy and everything. So I feel it was a war.
What would be the message to the future generations or those people who doesn't know anything about Korean War?
About the Korean War, I would just say I wish, not just the Korean War, but I just wish all of us could live in peace and harmony. And right now, we sort of got another thing bubbling in the other eastern areas,
War with Afghanistan and Iraq.
Right, right. And just like right now in the paper, they talked about one of the Al-Qaedas that got killed, I think, by a missile, and they're worried about retaliation and possibly all the way up through November something. We should be on, on the lookout or guarding ourselves or something like that. So I don't feel any war is a good war, and
But you want to avoid it.
right, right. But the thing is, if we're needed somewheres, then naturally they would have my support.
Sharing
I
these
can't
wonderful
go.
memories of your husband, Edward
This here is
Jankowski.
one of his.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Yes,
was at
yeah.
training, and I think that might have been. I don't know whether that was from armrest, but I don't know whether that was in Korea or when he was in Aberdeen.
Yeah.
How many.
So what do you think about the fact that future generations will be able to see all those pictures
Right, that
of
would be
your
great.
husband's memory through the Korean War Veteran Digital Memorial that we are trying to build? What do you think about that?
That's
How
going to be
many
great.
children do you have?
I have 5 children. I have an older boy, the oldest son. His name is Ronald. He has a daughter that's graduated from college and a son. The daughter's name is Rachel. The son's name is Philip, and he's in his 2nd year of college.
Oldest sons.
That's my
children.
oldest son, Ronald.
And?
Then I have this daughter here. She's my oldest daughter. She's 52, and she's got a daughter 30 years old and a son 24 years old.
Wow.
Which is Alexis and Timothy. And then I have another son, Mark. He's 45. He's got a little boy. He's married, got a little boy 3 years old, Cole. Then I got a daughter, 44. She's got 2 daughters that are twins. They graduated from high school and they're attending St. Elizabeth's School of Nursing. And then she's got a little boy, 8 years old. And then my youngest daughter, Maxine, she lives in Tennessee, but she's working in Virginia. She's married and we're waiting. So, she's 40, and I'm telling her, hurry up. Before she gets too older, I'm not here anymore.